So, I want to talk a little bit about the vibrational series today, and I think it's an important topic that kind of gets airtime and press in society, but it doesn't get enough airtime and press. So, your vibrational scale is going to determine your attitude to life, and furthermore, is going to determine what comes into your life, what stays, and what goes. So, the higher vibration you are, the more you will generally be extroverted, the more you will generally seek to socialize with other people, the more you will be able to look after yourself. So we've got that vibrational scale, haven't we? Like right at the bottom is like depression, death, then I think it's apathy. It is like all those low moods. And then the differentiator is anger. Like if you're very depressed, you're very low. What can help you break out of that generally quite quickly is anger. It's not healthy to stay in a state of anger all the time, but I am a huge fan of anger and of rage because actually they can help you push upwards where then you can feel higher emotions such as joy, positivity, laughter, and then obviously the highest vibration being love. So realistically, it's just a sliding scale. Now, being clairsentient, being psychically gifted, I am able to feel a range of all of those emotions in one given day. Sometimes it can be a little overwhelming, for lack of a better term, and being able to feel those emotions like going up and down, back and forth, so much. Um, if you tell a normal person, generally they'll think you're bipolar or they'll think there's something off with you mentally. But I've often said your vibrational state will contribute to everything in your life. Personally, when I feel good about myself or vibrationally feel good, um, I can be sitting in the same front room, I can be sitting in my car, and suddenly I'm like, if I'm super high vibration, I look at the car and I think, ooh, I need to have it washed. I could have had it washed last week, but I'm like, oh, I need to have it washed. It needs to be clean. What I'm trying to say is everything high vibrational is clean and shiny. This is why we talk about light so much. Interestingly enough, it gets dark quickly. The clocks will go forward probably about 2 months from now. So I'm making this in end of January if anybody wants to watch it at any other time. And what I've often said is that when people are disconnected from the light, and this is what I talk about in people who come to me who really talk about cluster B or toxic individuals, dysfunctional, narcissistic individuals, they're cut off from the light and they're cut off permanently. That's why they seek to siphon other people. Most people's light is completely gone. In today's world, their light, it's been cut, and they are looking for a host, they are looking for supply, they're looking for food basically. And if you're shiny, you're happy, you will be a target for people. So it's very important in higher, healthier, happier vibrational energy that everything is okay. So when you're more high vibrationally, you're abundant, you feel abundant and you don't feel like your world is closing in on you. The more you feel like your world is closing in on you, the more you'll come to find that you'll have thoughts of lack, of scarcity, of it's not enough, or it'll never be enough, or what's happening. Now, this can be manipulated if people are working against you. Magically, spell work, whatever it is, you could end up feeling fake scarcity, which that's what I want to cover in this video as well, that a lot of people are experiencing fake scarcity. It doesn't really exist. That's the problem. But cabal, or those who rule, who are in power, or who are in conjunction with the forces of evil to have complete and utter control, that grip over humanity. They want everybody to starve at the bottom. They don't want people to have food, a house, nothing. They just want people to be, and even if you have the bare basics covered, you are okay financially, they want you to be miserable. Because when you are in a state of happiness, you are in a state of joy, nobody can control you. That's the thing. I know that for the times that I feel joyous and I feel good about myself, um, I always go towards things like I want to dance, I want to get ready, I want to go out, I want to meet people. That's the thing. As opposed to if I don't feel good, I don't really want to meet people, right? And that's not just for myself, that's for anybody. That's the thing. That's literally for anybody. And when you're like the life is being sucked out of you consistently, as with most people, because we look at the sliding scale, people are working far more than they're getting compensated for, right? So, how can somebody be high vibrational? Now, people have often asked me about the state of what I see online. I think I mentioned it in the previous video as well that I don't particularly spend a lot of time online. If I spend time online, I do it for work purposes, basically. I do it for the purposes of I need to do write to this client, or I need to do this, or I need to go here. So it's always very professional and work related. I don't really do much when it comes to interacting socially on social media. Sure, I have pages or there's business pages or something, and that's fine, you know. But I always know that, you know, people are, like I said, living their life online. And a large contributor and a large driver of that low vibrational energy is that these glass crystal screens, obviously the one I'm recording on now, um, they do an energy transfer because there is quartz crystal. That's the screens are made of quartz crystal. And when you touch it, I mean, I can get into this on a later video. When you touch it, you're transferring all the energy. For instance, for me, like I said, I'm clairsentient, so um when I'm listening to somebody and they're too negative for me, I'm going to feel awful afterwards. I'm just not going to feel very good about myself. I'm not going to feel motivated or driven or to do anything, basically. So it becomes a challenge. And there is this rhetoric and there is this narrative that the online spaces have created that creates that low vibrational behavior. And I remember having a conversation with two spirits about 10 years ago. Back 10 years ago, things were very, very different. And I spoke to them about social media, especially Facebook at the time. Facebook was big 10 years ago. And they said to me, they're like, it's just a plague of dead souls rubbing up on each other. Facebook is where things go to die, basically. I remember them saying that to me. And the more like I've actually really thought about what they said, I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. Yep. So what happens is when you spend too much time online and you're not socializing enough with people and you're not in the real world, your energy starts to drop. So this video specifically is about low vibrational energy and high vibrational energy. High vibrational, the food you eat, the thoughts you have, your general outlook is very positive, you're happy about stuff. Things start to move naturally. Your face fills up, your aura fills up, you feel good about yourself, you feel confident, you feel positive, things show up. There'll always be something else as opposed to low vibration. Now, social media platforms are all low vibration. I don't care how people say, oh yeah, you know, I was successful on this. Yes, that's fine. I found business, a lot of business on social media. I found a lot of business online, but let's really talk about it for what it is. They've created like basically the third chakra is blue in color, right? So Facebook is blue. It's an attack, a direct attack on the throat, meaning people don't talk to each other anymore. If you're high vibration, you're chatty. You like to talk to people, you're curious, you want to get to know them. You're not antisocial. Whereas in today's world, most people, you ask them, you're trying to be friendly with them, you're trying to ask them, because they're vibrating so low that they need to, it's like, you know, when your phone goes into that mode where it's like low battery and it has to conserve the little battery that it does have before it dies. That's the state with most people. And the more time you spend on these dirty platforms, the more time that you keep giving airtime and keep reading all these things like a lunatic, you will become a lunatic. You'll become low vibrational, you'll become a lunatic. Social media, pornography, those type of things, they're very, very low. And eventually you get trapped in that prison. sometimes, I have all different types of people coming to ask me advice. And you can have a woman ask about some loser of a guy that clearly is just a loser. I mean, we can't even dignify him by calling him a man, and vice versa, by the way. We can have a man asking about a woman who's just a loser. Like, you can't even dignify her by calling her a woman. And they're stuck on this loser energy that you're just like, okay, that's who they are, just let it go and move on. But they can't move on because their vibration is literally so low that they can't see anything outside that. Now, this applies to people who have experienced narcissistic abuse. This applies to people who have come from their families of origin are traumatic, narcissistic, psychopathic, anything that is cut off from that light, basically. You'll only have a low vibration. You'll have a very cult-like energy, like, oh, everything needs to be done in that family. And that's not to say because I promote family. I think family is a good thing, as long as the people are healthy and they're good people. If they're not, then there's really not much point, is there? So I think from my perspective, when I look at it, I always come back to the same conclusion that, sometimes I hear people that I say, oh, I spent the last 3 hours in front of the TV. How? How doesn't your head hurt after the first 10 minutes? It's because they're so brainwashed, they're so insane that they can't see what's right in front of them. The food is low vibe. The media is all negative. It's low vibe. And then I get on to the topic of influencers. Again, I really don't like talking about social accounts, but here I am, because that feeds into that low vibrational energy, right? Um, they've got these influencers and they've got these big followings, and it's like worshipping in a cult, basically. And some psycho has told you, especially about dating and relationships, it's the most embarrassing thing to read. And the advice is always negative. It's never about happy, healthy, married people. It's always about insane people who want to create a following based on vulnerability and preying on people. They're narc and psycho themselves, so they give you all the types of wrong advices, and then it compounds on it basically targets people who are unhealed and traumatized. And when you're unhealed and traumatized, you are looking as a cognitive bias for somebody to validate what you believe is a core belief based on your experiences. And that's not easy to like try to shift and move out of. Um, High vibrational energy generally wants to repel what is not healthy and what is not it doesn't bring you positivity and joy. And if something doesn't bring you positivity and joy, why would you want to be around it? But the point is, through the black magic, through the 5G, through the side effects of the vaccines, um, through the food, the nasty, dirty food that most people enjoy eating because it's disgusting, through the water contamination, the chemtrails, I can go on and on. People's vibration has become so low. I go back to what I said about the phone battery thing. They've conserved this tiny little energy before they die, right? Their vibe is so low that if they have healthier habits, they'd become a different person. They'd break out of it, basically. And if you want to, you can, and I've made these videos many times that you manifest from your vibration. If you want better things to come in your life, your vibration is gonna get higher. And there can be a lot of people that impact your vibration around you. And if a person is extremely traumatized and they refuse to seek help for their issues, you can't do anything about that situation. So when you want to focus on high vibrational living, high vibrational energy, it goes to your environment, your thoughts. This is not about money. The money will follow the high vibration or the low vibration based on what's happening. Because money is not, it's not real, is what I usually say. It's just an energy that comes and goes, basically. And if one thing closes, the other thing opens. But I have a very, very relaxed attitude towards money, right? And that's the reason, mysteriously and somehow, things always find me even when I'm not expecting. Um, it's from a state of inner knowing and inner peace that you're okay with things. And when people default, sometimes you can go this side, sometimes you can go this side, and we have different days that we cope with. But in a general sense, high vibrational living has respect for the other person or the animal or something that's in front of it. It doesn't seek to consume, it seeks to preserve. Generally, if you go sit in very wealthy areas, there is a high vibrational energy, not generally because of the money, but the peace and the calmness that comes from it, basically. And you can rest, and your thoughts are not racing 24/7. Basically, what I'm trying to say is you're not in survival mode, so you can just afford to drop your guard a little bit and just relax and rest, basically. So if you wish to be more high vibrational, be very mindful of what you consume. Food, water, media. Media is the biggest one. Whatever's going on upstairs over here leaves a subconscious seed and a subconscious imprint. Um, and you need to be very aware of what you consume, and what impact you. People think they're just scrolling mindless. Nothing is mindless. All the saccades of your eyes going like this left to right, it's reading, it's processing, and I guarantee it's going to be in your mind. And you do not want something small to impede, per se, what could have been something healthy, but you had an influencer get into your head, tell you something, and now like it's they'll put thoughts in your head that are not there. It's why I don't follow any influencers. I don't want to know. I know nobody's going to influence my own mind. I will pick and choose what I want to influence myself with. It's a very dangerous life to live because people can give you good advice, and very few people will give you good advice these days because it's in their best interest and their profit to give you the wrong advice. The cure is not in you being healthy, the cure is you being sick, basically. So when you really seek to go high vibrational, the first place you really want to put the cap is, like I said, the food, water, and media. After that, things can follow on from there. But if you give your brain enough time to settle in, and there's no neuroinflammation in your brain, which is what most people have at the moment. There's the dopamine receptors are so burnt that they can't sit in peace and just be as is. They constantly need stimulation because they are looking for an instant hit. That's really the challenge. So low vibration is always looking for an instant hit. High vibration will take its time with things because greatness can't be rushed, and everything that truly has worth is worth paying for and worth waiting for.